The Proposal was directed by Anne Fletcher. It stars Ryan Reynolds as Andrew Paxton and Sandra Bullock as Margaret Tate. Margaret is the Canadian, bossy, tough as nails editor-in-chief for an American publishing agency, and Andrew is her assistant. Margaret's visa expired, and now she's about to be deported and fired. So she's forcing Andrew to marry her for a green card. Now, ICE, or the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is suspicious of them, pressuring them to go on a vacation to Sitka, Alaska, for Andrew's grandma's 90th birthday. This only adds to the pressure of them now. Now, both ICE and Andrew's eccentric family is starting to catch on to what they're doing. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I had a really fun time with The Proposal. So let's talk about why I liked this so much. Just to share something a bit off topic before I start the review, I want to mention that The Proposal has one of the funniest behind-the-scenes skits ever. I believe you can find it on Ryan Reynolds' YouTube channel, but just in case, I'll leave it for you guys in the comments. Check it out, it's absolutely hilarious. So, Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock had excellent chemistry together. Now, I have no idea Sandra Bullock's filmography. I literally haven't seen any of her movies. I'm not sure if she diversifies or plays the exact same type of character. On the other hand, I am sure of Ryan Reynolds' filmography, and he mostly plays either the loudmouth comic relief or an unbelievably nice guy, and he's kind of doing a mix of each in The Proposal. Most rom-coms have a really uptight character and a really laid-back, nice character get together. Yeah, it's cliche, but that doesn't mean it doesn't make a great fit. They do this because it creates great chemistry. That's one of the reasons Lucy and Ricky Ricardo were such a great couple, because one's kind of uptight and the other's made to look laid back. The Proposal does something like this too. Margaret is really uptight and Andrew isn't. By far, this is one of the funniest rom-coms I've ever seen. Every scene ends with a punchline, and if it's a serious scene, it just moves the punchline to earlier. No scene goes punchlineless, but that's just why the humor is well directed. Let's talk about why this movie is hilarious. The acting is incredibly funny. Two performances in particular were at prime comedy. Ryan Reynolds as Andrew, and Betty White as Andrew's grandma. Oh my gosh. Betty White in this movie made me almost die laughing. Like, take her review of Deadpool, where she says,
"Once in a generation, a movie comes along that your whole family will love. If your family is a up group of kissing inbreds. Plus, Ryan Reynolds looks so handsome in his red leather suit."
And just apply that to the whole movie, because that's essentially who her character is. She's definitely old, but her age isn't the butt of the joke. Unlike some dumpster fires called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There's a joke in here that got me laughing so hard. I don't know why it did, but it just did. Remember Oscar Nunez? He played Oscar Martinez in The Office. In The Proposal, he plays a character named Ramon, and he pretty much has every job in Sitka, Alaska. In one scene, he does a striptease for Sandra Bullock to the tune of Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Then, later, if you look in the background of a shot, you can see him and Betty White dancing together. What in the Holy Roman Empire is happening in this movie? Surprisingly, I found The Proposal to be very heartwarming. Obviously, the romance was on point, and the family dynamic worked really well. There's also this strained relationship between Andrew and his father, played by Craig T. Nelson, and it was great to see their not-so-great relationship gradually improve throughout the movie. And now we arrive to all the problems I had with the proposal. There are a lot of points where characters will do something really unusual. Like, there's a scene where Betty White's character is dancing around a fire doing tribal chants, and we're just supposed to go, okay then, I guess that's normal. I guess they do that in Sitka, Alaska. People are doing weird things or making unusual requests that normal people wouldn't request throughout the movie. I get this is for the sake of comedy, and at some points I laughed, but it just came off as unusual. The proposal is also red herrings galore. There are a lot of things that happen that are implied to foreshadow some important event, but no, it does foreshadow events, but unimportant ones that have a payoff during the middle of the film. So, the supposed villain of the proposal is this ICE agent, Mr. Gilbertson. He noticed right from the get-go that this was probably a green card marriage. He's trying to arrest Andrew and deport Margaret. I would have been fine with his character if his motivations were to do this because it's his job. But he's unnecessarily mean about this. Like, he wants to deport Margaret. It just didn't feel deserved. He doesn't have a menacing presence at all, and by that I mean he's barely in the movie. He has one scene, I think, in the first act, no scenes in the second act, and I think 2 in the third act. I didn't buy into this idea that he was just so bent on deporting this random lady that he doesn't even know. At the end of the movie, there's a scene that plays over the credits, and the whole scene is supposed to be comical, but it kind of contradicts the whole suspense of the movie. It tries to turn this thing that we were worried would happen for the whole movie into just some big joke. This is a movie that, quality-wise, gets worse each act. The first act is good. It's entertaining. The second act is like the second act of so many rom-coms. Uneventful. It just strengthens Andrew and Margaret's bond and shows them get into wacky hijinks. The third act is where things get romantic, but it's still pretty bad. There's a lot of things that require you to dispel any belief that what people are doing are either impossible, improbable, or illegal. As the 3 acts decrease in quality, the script kind of acts like it has the ability to make up for that with characters we like and an increase in comedic moments. I did like the characters, and I laughed at the comedic moments, but that doesn't mean I took my eye off the fact that the third act of this movie fell flat on its face. The proposal gets a C+. Not every movie has to be Citizen Kane in order for me to recommend it. There are flaws with this movie, but it's an entertaining rom-com and a real fun time. So, if you watch this movie because you like Ryan Reynolds, but you aren't a fan of rom-coms, I'd say you would like Deadpool. It's a comedy with romance. It has Ryan Reynolds playing the loudmouth comic relief, but it's definitely more action-oriented. Another good Ryan Reynolds movie is The Hitman's Bodyguard. A lot of people hate that movie, but I liked it. I would give you Sandra Bullock movies to watch, but I haven't seen any of her movies. I think Speed is good. I don't know. This is one of those uptight girl meets guy who can teach her to loosen up type movies. Another of those kinds of movies that immediately comes to mind is 10 Things I Hate About You with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. And for this recommendation, I'm going to cheat a bit and recommend a TV show. But one of the best parts of the proposal is the family dynamic. One of my favorite family dynamics is Kim's Convenience. Go check it out. It's over on Netflix, and it's starting to become one of my favorite TV shows. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to the person who suggested I do this segment, my Aunt Katie. Thank you very much. I'm having a lot of fun making these. And since you recommended to me something so amazing, I'm going to recommend something so amazing to you. Well, that just about wraps up my review of the proposal. Before you leave, why don't you tell me A movie that, despite having many flaws, you like anyways. I'd say that although the proposal matches that criteria, some of my choices would be Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Now You See Me, Death Proof, The Hitman's Bodyguard, and the Bill and Ted movies. After you tell me about that, you can head on out. Stay safe and watch good movies. Bye!